Have you ever wondered what happens after the gavel falls in a high-stakes criminal case? We all see the dramatic courtroom scenes in movies, the lawyers shouting objection, the surprise witness, the tearful verdict. But what about the aftermath? What happens when the cameras stop rolling and the real-life consequences kick in? Today, we re-diving deep into a story that starts where most legal dramas end, a courtroom showdown that followed a landmark criminal case. This isn't just about guilt or innocence. It's about the messy, complicated, and often shocking reality that unfolds long after the initial judgment is passed. Imagine this: a case that gripped the nation. The evidence was complex, the media coverage was relentless, and public opinion was sharply divided. After weeks of testimony, the jury finally delivered a verdict that sent shockwaves through the community. But for the people involved, the defendant, the victim's family, the lawyers on both sides, this was just the beginning of a whole new battle. The criminal trial was over, but a new fight was just getting started, and this time, it was personal. Let's set the scene. On one side, we have the defendant, freshly acquitted but facing a public that still sees him as guilty. His reputation is in tatters, his career is gone, and his relationships are strained to the breaking point. He might have one in the court of law, but in the court of public opinion, he's lost everything. He's facing a mountain of legal bills and the daunting task of trying to piece his life back together under the glare of public scrutiny. Can you truly be free when the world has already judged you? On the other side, the victim's family, they are devastated, not just by their loss, but by a legal system they feel has failed them. They believe justice was not served. So what do? They can't let it go. Fueled by grief and a burning desire for what they see as accountability, they decide to take matters into their own hands. They pivot from the criminal court to the civil court. This is where our story really takes off. The new goal? To prove liability in a civil lawsuit, where the burden of proof is lower, and win a massive financial judgment. This sets the stage for a second, even more intense courtroom showdown. It's a rematch, but the rules are completely different. In criminal court, the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt. It's an incredibly high bar. But in civil court, it's a preponderance of the evidence. This basically means more likely than not, it's a 51% to 49% game. This lower standard opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Evidence that was unstrong enough for a criminal conviction might be more than enough to win a civil case. The legal teams reassemble, but their strategies have to change dramatically. The prosecution, now the plaintiff's attorneys, can be more aggressive. They can reintroduce evidence, call new witnesses, and frame the narrative in a way that plays to the emotions of a civil jury, who are deciding on financial damages, not prison time. They're not trying to put someone behind bars. They're trying to make them pay, literally. Every piece of testimony is re-examined. Every bit of evidence is recontextualized. Meanwhile, the defense team is in a tough spot. They won the big one, the criminal case, but now they have to fight all over again. The public perception is already against their client, and that can seep into the jury box. They have to relitigate the entire case, but this time, the stakes are financial ruin. A massive judgment could bankrupt their client, making the not guilty verdict feel like a hollow victory. The psychological toll of going through another grueling trial is immense. Let's talk about the evidence. In the criminal trial, maybe there was a key piece of evidence that was thrown out on a technicality. Perhaps a wiretap was deemed inadmissible or a witness's testimony was considered unreliable. In the civil trial, the plaintiff's lawyers are going to fight tooth and nail to get that same evidence in front of the new jury. They'll argue it speaks to motive, to character, to the likelihood that the defendant was responsible. Suddenly, the case that the defense thought they had put to bed is back, and it's stronger than before. Think about the witness stand. People who are reluctant to testify in a criminal trial might feel differently about a civil one. The pressure is different. They aren't testifying to send someone to prison for life. This can lead to new explosive testimony. Friends who stayed silent might now come forward. Experts who were cautious might offer bolder opinions. The entire dynamic of the trial shifts. The emotional weight is different too. The victim's family can present a wrongful death claim, allowing them to detail their pain, their suffering, and the financial and emotional void left in their lives. This is powerful, heart-wrenching stuff that can sway a jury. The media, of course, goes into a frenzy all over again. The Trial of the Century, Part 2. The public is captivated by the rematch. Every twist and turn is analyzed on cable news. Pundits on both sides argue passionately. Is this a righteous quest for justice? Or is it a vindictive attempt to ruin a man who is already declared not guilty? It's a debate that rages in coffee shops and online forums across the country. The pressure on everyone involved is magnified 1,000 times. Now, let's consider the outcome. If the civil jury finds the defendant liable, the result is a staggering financial judgment. We're talking millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. For the victim's family, it's a form of vindication. It's a public declaration that, yes, this person was responsible for our loss. It may not bring their loved one back, but it's a symbolic victory that provides a sense of closure and accountability that the criminal trial did not. But for the defendant, it's a crushing blow. Even if they have money, a judgment of that size can mean financial ruin. They might spend the rest of their lives fighting to protect their assets, dealing with liens, and having their wages garnished. The freedom they gained from the acquittal feels like a distant memory. They're forever tied to the case, branded not as a criminal, but as someone legally and financially responsible for a terrible act. This is the great paradox. You can be found not guilty, but still be forced to pay for the crime you were accused of. This phenomenon raises fascinating and difficult questions about our justice system. Is it fair? Does the civil court offer a necessary second chance for victims to find justice? Or does it undermine the principle of innocent until proven guilty and subject people to double jeopardy in a different form? There are strong arguments on both sides. Proponents say it is a crucial tool for holding people accountable when the high burden of proof in criminal law be met. Opponents argue it can be used to persecute individuals who have already been cleared by the system. This story of a post-trial showdown isn't just a legal drama. It's a human drama. It shows us that the end of a trial is rarely the end of the story. The consequences ripple outwards, affecting lives for years, even decades to come. It's a stark reminder that justice is not a single event, but a long, complicated, and often imperfect process. The battle for truth, accountability, and peace of mind can take place in many different arenas long after the final gavel has fallen. What do you think? Is this two-tiered system of justice fair? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, and I'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the headlines. See you next time.